सर्पकलेवरम् पितरं वीक्ष्य दुःखार्तो मुक्तकण्ठोरुरोढः तथोभ्येत्याश्रमं बालो गले सर्पकलेवरं पितरं वीक्ष्य दुःखार्तो मुक्तकण्ठोरुरोढः तथोभ्येत्याश्रमं बालो गले सर्पकलेवरं पितरं वीक्ष्य दुःखार्तो मुक्तकण्ठोरुरोढः. Devotees.
ततो भीत्याश्रमं बालो गले सर्पकलेवरं पितरं वीक्ष्य दुःखार्तो मुक्तकण्ठो रुरोधः.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tato vidyashramam balo gale sharpa kalevaram pitaram vikshya dukharto mukta kancho rurodha.
Thank you.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tata bhutta ashramam bala sharpe Tata bhutta ashramam bala gale sharpa kalevaram pitaram viksha dukharta mukta kantharudaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Tato abhyetyasaramam balo gale sarpa kalevaram pitaram viksha dukarto mukta kanto rodaha.
Hare Krishna. Tatobhyaya shramabalo gale sarpa kalevaram pitaram viksha dukkharto muktakanto rurodaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tato bhayatasramam balo kale sharpo kalevaram pitaram bhikshaya dukkharto mukto kanto rurudaha.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tato bhetashramam balo gale sarpa kalevaram pitaram viksha dukharto mukta kanto rurodha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tato abhyetya ashramam balo gale sarpakalevaram pitaram vikshaya dukharto mukta kanto rurodha.
Thank you. So we can go to synonyms. Tataha, thereafter, abhyetya, after entering into, ashramam, the hermitage, balaha, boy, gale sarpa, the snake on the shoulder, kalevaram, body, pitaram, unto the father, bhikshya, having seen, dukkha artaha, in a sorry plight, mukta kantaha, loudly, ruroda, cried, ha, in the past. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief he cried very loudly. Purport. The boy was not happy because he committed a great mistake, and he wanted to be relieved of the burden on his heart by crying. So, after entering the hermitage and seeing his father in that condition, he cried loudly so that he might be relieved. But it was too late. The father regretted the whole incident. Text 39. Savangiraso Brahman Shrutva Sutta Vilapanam Unmilya Sanakai Netre Drishtva Chamse Mritoragam. O Brahmanas, the rishi, who was born in the family of Angira Muni, hearing his son crying, gradually opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck. Text 40. Vishrajyatam cha papracha vatsakasmadirodisi kena vate pakritam iti ukta sanya vedayat. He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. Purport. The father did not take the dead snake on his neck very seriously. He simply threw it away. Actually, there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaj Parikshit's act, but the foolish son took it very seriously, and being influenced by Kali, he cursed the king and thus ended a chapter of a happy history. Text 41. निशम्य सप्तम् अततर्हं नरेन्द्रं सभ्रामणो नात्मजम् अभ्यनन्दत् अहो भतां हो मगदद्य ते कृतम् अल्पीयसे द्रोगौरोर्धमोधृतः. Translation. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best among all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Purport. The king is the best of all human beings. He is a representative of God and he is never to be condemned for any of his actions. In other words, the king can do no wrong. The king may order hanging of a culprit son of a Brahmana, but he does not become sinful for killing a Brahmana. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to death. So, what to speak of a good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? In the Vedic way of life, the king is trained to become a Raj Rishi or a great saint, although he is ruling as a king. It is a king only by whose good government the citizens can live peacefully and without any fear. The Raja Rishis would manage their kingdoms so nicely and piously that their subjects would respect them as if they were the Lord. That is the instruction of the Vedas. The king is called Narendra or the best among the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced, puffed up son of a Brahmana, even though he had attained the powers of a qualified Brahmana? Since Shamika Rishi was an experienced, good Brahmana, he did not approve of the actions of his condemned son. He began to lament for all that his son had done. The king was beyond the jurisdiction of curses as a general rule, and what to speak of a good king like Maharaj Parikshit? The offense of the king was most insignificant, and his being condemned to death was certainly a very great sin for Shringi. Therefore, Rishi Samika regretted the whole incident. So, we go to text 38. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम् तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So, text 38. So, translation. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief, he cried very loudly. Okay. So, here, so we all know that what is the pastime going on. So Maharaj Parikshit, he went for hunting in the forest, and in the forest, by the providence, he got so much of thirst and hungry. So he want to quench his thirst. So he approached Samika Rishi ashram for some water. So, but what happened after going there, he noticed that he was asking for water, but Samika Rishi is actually in meditation, and so because of the providence that Maharaj Parikshit got angry because he is not responding, so immediately he got angry, and then he put a dead snake around Samika Rishi's neck, and then he left. So after he left, of course, like he was also feeling, he was also repenting that what he had done. And but meanwhile, this news went to Samika Rishi's son Shringi, and Shringi, as a small boy, like by hearing this, immediately he got really angry. Like, how come like such a Kshatriya, like he was mentioned as that as a Kshatriya is actually, he addressed them like a dog, right? Kshatriya is a protector. So, but Brahmana is in the Varnashrama Dharma, he is considered as the topmost. So, in that way, like he was dealing with a Kshatriya, like how can a Kshatriya can able to insult my father who is a Brahmana? So then what he did, immediately he cursed, okay, in 7 days you will die by the snake bite. So after he did this, so and then again when he came to the ashram, so now we are now in that page that he came to the ashram and he saw his father, and he also understand his mistake. So it's nothing big mistake Parikshit Maharaj did. So but he already cursed, so he was also repenting that he should not have done this mistake. So just to uh, get out of his like get out of his mistake, so he was really crying very loudly. So when he cried loudly, then immediately Samika Rishi actually came out from the trance. So he came out, and so very interestingly, like Srila Prabhupada here mentioned, that after he came, when Samika Rishi came out of the trance, so what he did, he just take out the dead snake and just threw it away, and then he was asking what happened. So from this incident, we can understand that actually Samika Rishi did not even care, like what is this dead snake, like who put this, and how can it happen, like nothing. He didn't even care. He just took and throw that. And then immediately he was asking, what happened? Like, why are you crying? Did someone harm you? Like, why are you crying? So in that, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that actually as a Brahmana, like his quality is actually forbearance and tolerance. So they won't actually care for all these things, right? So that's the main thing. And also here we can see there are many lessons from this pastimes that we can understand. So one is that here Shringi, because of he puffed up, so he misused his Brahminical power, right? So first thing, so until now, so the Varnashrama system was maintained, but because it is the influence of Kali, so Shringi becomes the instrument for the falling down of the Varnashrama system. So from Shringi onwards, the Brahmanas fall down from their original position. So this is how the influence of Kali, like Shringi becomes the instrument. So because of that, like he got so much of puffed up that I am a Brahmana, how come he can insult my father? And immediately, because he had that Brahminical power, so he immediately cursed, right? So this is not actually so basically he misused it, right? So misuses Brahminical power. And after we speak something, we cannot take it back, right? So that's why we should be very careful. So this is one of the lesson we can take, that once we gave up the words, we cannot take it back. So we have to be very careful what we are speaking. So this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says in 17 chapter 15th verse, Anudvega karam vakyam Sotyam priya hitam chayat swadhyayabhyasam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So what is the austerity of speech? It has to be pleasing, and it should be truthful, and it should be beneficial, right? So if it is not, then there is no austerity in our speech. So as a devotee, this is a very important lesson, that we should be very careful before we speak. So after we speak, after we gave up the words, so then it cannot be taken back. So that is one important lesson we can learn. So because now Shringi, he gave the curse, and after that he is repenting, oh, I should not have done it. So, and then in the next verse, it is mentioned that the text 41. So, Srila Prabhupada is starting that actually Parikshit Maharaj is a king, and king means representative of God. So, a representative of God, like we should not actually have any rights to punish them, because they are representing, right? So they are representing the Supreme Lord and a good pious king. So, and here Parikshit Maharaj is not just a normal king, but he is a very good and also a pious king. And what to talk about, like he is a Vaishnava, right? So he is a Vaishnava, so definitely he should not be punished. And Srila Prabhupada here gives the analogy that a medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to death. So even because as a professional, that they are training in that training, so they are doing some mistakes, so because of that, if someone is dying, so it is not considered a sin. This is per the Niti Shastra scriptures. So in that case, like what to talk about Maharaj Parishit, he didn't do anything, right? He just do that is also because of the providence he did. So he just put the snake around the neck of the Samika Rishi, and also he was feeling bad that he should not have done it, right? So he also repented immediately. It is because of the influence of Kali. So he did that. Like I hope you all understand that why he did it, because he had the, as a king, so king always have the crown, right? So when Kali comes, so he was asking for places to live. So there are mainly 4 places. First, Maharaj Parikshit gave that, okay, wherever meat eating is going on, wherever gambling is going on, wherever intoxication is going on, wherever illicit sex is going on, so these 4 places you can occupy. And then again Kali Purusha was asking that I need one more place, at least I need more place. So then Maharaj Parikshit said, okay, so wherever the gold, extra gold, if you feel, then you can go and occupy that place. So that's how, like as a king, he was wearing the crown, and immediately he started sitting on his head, and that's how by that influence he actually did this. So but he immediately realized, so that is the quality of a Vaishnava. So even he did the mistake, so he will immediately realize, because as Paramatma is very sound and loud for the devotee, so he can able to understand what is going on, and then he started repenting, I should not have done this. So that's why Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag. So even if one commits sinful activity, so he should be considered as saintly, because he engaged in devotional service. So this is another important lesson that we all should understand, that this I heard from His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu lecture. So he was telling that actually ISKCON is nothing but is a hospital. right? So in the hospital, patients will be there. So patients are sick. So that ISKCON, that we have that how the doctors will be treating. So all the Guru Varga, so they are helping us in treating our anarthas, and everyone is taking treatment and everyone is in the different level, right? So that's the difference. So in that, if we say like some patients are saying, oh, see, that patient is so sick, and so if they criticize, so what will happen? Nothing, because everyone is sick. They are just in the different level of treatment, right? So that's what is happening in ISKCON. Like when we become devotees, so we started like seeing others down and thinking that, okay, I am so great, I am now like initiated devotee, everyone is like under me, so they are going very bad, like they are doing all these nonsense, or why they are doing so much, we started speaking. So this is a fact. That's what actually, I think I already shared in this forum. I'm not sure. So let me share that. One time, what happened, like one devotees, he was actually regularly coming for morning program in a temple. So, and then what happened, every day, so just in particular time only, he will go out from the temple, like when Aarti or class is going on. So, but particular time he will go out. And then one devotee was watching this. So why this devotee is coming regularly, but he's going out for some time, where he is going? So let me watch. Like one day he went out and he saw, and then that devotee who went out, and he was actually smoking. He was smoking, and so this devotee immediately started judging. What is this? Like, he is coming for the temple and he is still smoking. So what is going on? And then he immediately go and touch him, and he called him. So when he turned, that devotee is actually, he started crying. So because he's crying and then smoking. So what is happening is, like, the devotee asked, like, what happened? Like, why are you crying? And then that devotee immediately he said, like, Prabhu, please don't say that you should not come because you are smoking. Because I know that I got addicted to this, but I know that I have to come out of it. But I'm struggling with this anartha. But please don't say that I should not come. I really want to come. So then this devotee actually feeling so bad that how come I can judge this person, right? That person is genuinely, he is crying that he is not able to come out of his anartha. So that's how, like, we have to understand, like, we cannot judge anyone by seeing outside that why they are behaving like this. So we should understand everyone have anarthas. Everyone is trying and struggling to get out of that anartha. So we should have to give them time, and we should not judge anyone that, okay, so this person is like a very low devotee or high devotee. Like, we should not discriminate. So that is a one important lesson. And also, like, from Parikshit, like, he just saw Samika Rishi, right? So he just saw and then he judged, okay, how come this person is not giving me respect? And so he doesn't know that he is actually in trance, right? So similarly, we doesn't know, by seeing the devotee we cannot able to judge like what he is going through in his life. So we should not basically judge anyone. So that is another important lesson. And also, Parikshit did not fall down because of the any sinful activities. So we are all actually follow like abominable activities. Like when Krishna mentioned that if some devotee falls down from his original position, but still we should consider him saintly, right? So here Parikshit Maharaj is not like us, that he fall down like us. He is actually a Param Vaishnava, but he did this because of Lord's arrangement, so that Bhagavatam can come, right? So then, what to speak about Maharaj Parikshit? We should not actually judge Maharaj Parikshit what he did. So there are the important lessons we can learn from Maharaj Parikshit behavior. So what Maharaj Parikshit did, so he got angry, so that he did not respect. Samika Rishi did not give respect. So he got angry. And anger is coming. Why? Like Krishna, first of all, he says in Bhagavad Gita that Krodhat Bhavati Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha. So in Bhagavad Gita 263. So it is mentioned that anger is the wind that blows off the lamp of intelligence. So Krishna says, when anger comes, what is happening? The next thing, bewilderment of memory. So we lose our sense what we are doing. And because of the bewilderment of memory, our intelligence get lost. And because our intelligence get lost, so we fall down. So because of just angry. So we can see that Parikshit Maharaj showed the anger, right? That's why he did that. So, and also Krishna says that there are 3 ways to hell. Very nice road path is leading to the hell. So there are 3 ways. If you want to go to hell, the 3 ways, one is anger, lust, greed. These 3 things, if we are having, then it's very clear path to hell. Krishna says that. So it's very important that as a Vaishnava that we should practice that tolerance. Tolerance is very, very important quality. That's what we are every day chanting in Sikshashtakam prayers. The Trinatapi Suni Chena Tarorapi Sakishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So we should be tolerant, and forbearance is very important quality. And so when we talk about like Parikshit Maharaj was actually, why he got angry? So the reason we have to see. So he got angry because he got insulted. He felt insulted, right? So why he felt insulted? Because Samika Rishi did not give respect, right? I am the king. So I am ruling not just this Bharata Varsha, like he was ruling all the 9 Varshas. I am the king of the whole world. And here I am, and he is not giving respect to me. How come he can insult me, right? So what is happening here? We are expecting respect from others. Amanina manadena. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction? We should not expect respect from others, and we have to give respect to everyone. If we do these 2 things, so then only we can able to do Kirtaniya Sadahari. So when we start expecting respect from others, so then what happened? Then if someone didn't say anything, like someone didn't respect us, immediately we feel insulted. So how come this person can able to like, it's very simple, like not even giving a big respect and all. If someone didn't say Hare Krishna to us, like when we see in the temple, if someone didn't say Hare Krishna Prabhu or Hare Krishna Mataji, then we feel insulted. What, this devotee is not respecting me? I am such a great devotee. He is not even respecting and saying Hare Krishna to me, right? So we feel insulted. So this is the feeling is coming because I think I am great. So everyone have to respect me. But this is not real devotion. Dear devotees, like actually our acharyas mood, if we see, the more we advance, actually we feel really lower, really humble. We don't think that I am great. So that is a real advancement. When we think I am great, I am advancing, and I am like, I have to be respected, then we are done. Like we can clearly see that our fall down started. So it's very important that we should not expect respect, but at the same time, we should give respect to everyone without fail. So this is the very important quality, that so that we can able to continue our chanting. So we can chant millions of years if we still expecting respect, and if we are still criticizing, if we are still gossiping, we can chant millions of years, but we cannot attain Krishna Prema. We have to take birth again and again, and this is going on. So this is not my words, this is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that 64 rounds you can chant every day for millions of years, but still you cannot attain Krishna Prema if you are offending Vaishnavas. So what happened, like if you are expecting respect, what happened? The next step, if someone is not doing, we start offending, right? So we are not actually okay, so they are not respecting, so then we start criticizing them. So then Vaishnava Aparat started. So then if we are doing Vaishnava Aparat, so then how many rounds we can chant? We cannot able to attain perfection. Like, of course, like we should not misunderstood that, okay, Krishna says, Swalpam abhyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. Like, even if you do little in devotional service, you will not fail, right? So that promise is there. We are not going to lose our human body. That is a big promise that Krishna gave. So definitely we will get chance in the next life. We will come back, again we chant, again we will come back, again we will chant. If we are not focusing properly in our bhajan, in our sadhana, that avoiding offenses, then we cannot able to attain Krishna prema. So that is a very important thing that we can learn from this pastimes. And also the real tolerance, it should be shown when we have power, right? So if we don't have power, like for example, if in a institute, like head of the CEO or someone is there, and if if an employee got offended, so employee will not go and say that CEO, okay CEO, I will forgive you. So that doesn't matter, right? So because he doesn't have power. First of all, he doesn't have power to say this to CEO. So but if the CEO forgive him, then there is a power is there, right? So but still he did not utilize that power to put them down, but he was actually forgiving. So basically here Parikshit Maharaj, he can able to retaliate, right? So when the curse was given, so Parikshit Maharaj can immediately, he can say that, okay, so how come this small boy can able to curse me like this? I can able to come back from the curse. He can do that. He is a Vaishnava. So he can able to do that. Like he can able to give curse back again. Like it's not new. Like we can see in Daksha Prajapati pastimes, like curse after back to back curse was going on. So definitely he can also give. But here Parikshit Maharaj showed that the real tolerance, that when we have power, at that time, if we really forgive others, so that is the real tolerance. So that's why, like when we are in the management side and all, we should be really show the tolerance in that way. Like, okay, so even though I have power, like I should not misuse that power, and I can say anything to anyone, so I should not do that. So that is very important. So yeah, so in this way that there are the lessons that we can learn from this pastimes. So I'll try to recollect what are the lessons that we learned. So first thing, we should not get anger, right? So we should not get anger, and that anger leads to the intelligence is get lost. And then because if we lose the intelligence, then we fall down. So from our spiritual life. So we should not get anger. And the anger is coming because we get puffed up, because we expect respect. So we should not expect respect. We should be always remembering amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaviri. So we should remember that forbearance, tolerance. So these qualities as a Vaishnava we should develop. And then we should not misuse the power and speak anything which agitating others. So that we should not do. And then do not judge anyone. Do not judge anyone. This is very, very important. So by just seeing externally, so we should not judge, because when we start judging others, so then we fall down. So basically when we judge others, we see what is the fault in others, right? So this is from Nitai Sevani Mataji lecture. I heard that she was telling that when we see fault in others, actually that is our fault. How? Because if I wear the red glass and see outside, everything looks red. If I wear blue glass, then everything looks blue. So that means if I am seeing fault in others, that means I have to understand that fault is actually in me. That's why I can able to see the fault in others. So let me work on myself first. We should not actually judge others and find fault in others, criticizing others. So these are all the very, very big obstacle for our spiritual advancement. So these are the lessons we can learn. So thank you so much. I'll stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, परित्वान श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Any questions or any comments? Okay, I don't see any questions or comments, so then is it okay? We can close the call. Okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much.
Wonderful class, Mother Syāmalā Gopikā Mataji. Really, really great. Thank you for all those points. I appreciate them very much.
Thank you so much. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hare Krishna Mataji. There are not lots of points you made that we have to apply, like not judging others and not getting angry, as austerity of speech. They are all very important points for us to become better person. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Kalpeshwar.
Hare Krishna Mataji, excellent class. There are a lot of points. Thank you for that. I always get confused between judging and assessing. Judging, if I understand, when you say judging means not to execute orders and not to come out with conclusions on anything for somebody. And assessing means what is favorable for us, we can always choose that, right? Is that the way you're looking at it?
Yes, so yeah, definitely. Like when we say like we have to associate with the like-minded devotees, so there actually yes, we cannot everyone is a devotee, then I will go and associate with everyone. So that will not actually really help in our advancement. So then we have to see the like-minded devotees. So in that case, like we are not actually we cannot say that assessing also, because when we have the power of authority, so then we can assess anyone, but we can just by their behavior and how they are connecting with each other, so just by that like we feel that connection. Okay, so this devotee is really nice, so then I really wanted to connect with them. So that is not assessment also, this is just we are connecting with them. So when we have that connection, then definitely we associate with them. So that but definitely we should not assess or judge. Like assessing, when we have the authority, then we can do that kind of assessment, like all to help them, so we can do that. Okay, so this devotee, like for example a Siksha Guru is there and a disciple is there, so the disciple is always so the Siksha Guru's responsibility is to look after him, assess him, what how he is progressing. So if anything that I have to help them, so that way like definitely we should assess them. But when we don't have that authority, then we should not assess also. So by just by dealing, we can able to understand.
Yeah, generally it is somewhere I think so in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that when we are we want to choose a guru, we have to listen for 1 year, at least,
Yes.
and if that connection is happening or not. So in that way, both parties are judging. When guru is judging the disciple and disciple is judging the guru also. So in that context, I was saying that would that also be applicable in every situations, right? And what I have been like learning and maybe practicing, I don't know if I am, but like let's say if we find some faults in our eyes on somebody else, previously it was very easy that we kind of speak out about those, and then that is really an offense, because first of all we have a, like, we are not fully factual about the whole thing, we have seen certain things, and we have to understand, like as you were saying about the patient thing, each other, like you were telling one versus the other, kind of. So we sometimes have that tendencies, like looking at just a situation in a given time, and then we make a like saying that, and not, and the worst thing is, like, if it is just happening in in our own mind, that is also a bad thing. But since it's a Kali Yuga, when it happens because we have our own problems of anarthas, but then you go out and talk to others. That is where it is trouble, and any movement like has to progress, and we have seen so many different types of movements, and like it has to stay for certain years in order to make sure that it will stay for many years to go. The biggest like fall down of any movement would be not having unity among each other, and because of this, doing the aparadha and looking at each other's like faults, and then the movement will really collapse. Again, then there will be division in the movement itself, and then there will be different powerhouses in that also. So I saw that way also, like, okay, how dangerous this is, that no moment of time everything can be destructed, just one person thinks that way, and then he makes his groups, and then he can destroy everything, the whole movement itself. So it's very, very dangerous. That offenses are extremely dangerous. Uh, we see certain faults in something. You're rightly saying that it is our own fault because I should also educate myself and constantly work on that, right? And at the same,
So when we say that, actually when we see like falls, like people are doing groupism, all those things. So basically, like, first of all, if we don't have any authority, so to speak about that, like, best to avoid speaking about that. Like, because when we don't have authority, like, why do we have to speak? So let's work on our sadhana and we can go on. So if we have the authority, we are in that management, then we have to speak. So to bring the unity, how I can bring the unity. But otherwise, like, we should not actually speak. So that will make an offense.
and you very well brought out that like in 17th chapter where Krishna tells about the austerity of speech, and that is what I was thinking, and in my experience also I was thinking, okay, when we are dealing with either, irrespective of any devotees, non-devotees, workplace, anywhere, our behavior is always there, right? So and like for other person, right? And then I connect what you are saying here is like it should be pleasing and truthful, right? So these are the three things which will this is the austerity of speech. All the time we have to have that in our behavior, which doesn't mean that it is just applies to temples. It also applies to outside the temples, in our professional areas, and also because that is how they will get, they may get attracted to movement, because they will see that, okay, this person has some humility and wonderful qualities. Let me find out how he's doing this, and then in that exchange, not necessarily it is what we have to say all what we are doing it, but in a very general, intelligent way, we can say how they can also be on that path indirectly, and then
Yeah, Vaishnava's life is not like a duplicity or a double life. Okay, when we go outside of ISKCON, there is different life, and inside ISKCON, different life. It's not like that. So Vaishnava should be same all the places. So of course, like externally, appearance wise, it might be different, but still, like internally, we should maintain the same quality. So that attracts many people, as you said.
yeah, so I always thought, like, how can I really have a like a proper conversation with any outside, which are non-devotees, which are generally not prescribed when we are not in that kind of adhikaris, uttam adhikaris. But even though we are living in this complex world where we will be not able to, we don't have our own capabilities to judge anyone in that way. So how do we really have a conversation with anyone in this world, then in my mind I came with this idea, okay, this is what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. Why not apply it pleasing? It should be always pleasing, and not beneficial way. I want in a general way, so always like trying to correct other people behavior, but learn from other people behavior, what is good in that, so that is the beneficial part. We can always about someone, even though he's not probably having he's not a devotee, but he carries certain qualities, then why can't we just appreciate that quality, which is indirectly his intellect got inspired from Krishna. That is why he carries those qualities. So that is what I saw, like, okay, this is what I have to work, now whenever I have a speech, I want to make sure that I always do the pleasing conversation and beneficial conversation, and looking at other people's qualities rather than what I may not have, or I may have it.
Very nice. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So when we say beneficial, it should not, like, basically we should not do prajalpa, like unnecessary talk. So it should be beneficial for that person who is hearing. So that should be like, for example, I'm going and gossiping with about others. So it's not going to be beneficial for him also, for me also. So that kind of talk we should not do. And when you say that preaching, like we are not a uttamadhikari, we cannot preach. So that is not like that, definitely, because even Uttama Adhikari, he comes to the platform of Madhyama Adhikari for preaching purpose. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that, okay, preaching means like, okay, you have to have many people, audience, so then only you can preach, or you should know like so much of verses, or so much knowledge in scriptures. So, like, if you know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so in New Vrindavan, so Prabhupada always says that a little girl, Saraswati, she goes and knock the door, everyone, and she says that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. That is also preaching. And when we give prasadam to others, without even saying prasad, this is prasadam, just give prasadam to others. So that is also preaching. So if we behave nicely, that is also preaching. So this is all different ways of preaching. So it's not just stick to speaking only.
Yes.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Mataji, thank you for making this preaching thing so easy, Mataji. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Srila
Mataji.
Prabhupada, His
Jai,
mercy.
Jai.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I hope no announcement, right, Prabhu? Dronacharya Prabhu. Okay. Now we can close here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, ma'am.